guys, it's Megha from Contlo, and welcome to Contlo's Product Bytes. It is incredibly important to be data-driven when you're driving growth for e-commerce brands. And to be data-driven, it's important to measure what matters. And what matters is always a very hard question. Today, we're talking about the 22 most important analytics KPIs for e-commerce merchants to track their brand growth. KPIs are performance measurements that can be thought of as checkpoints along the path to your brand's e-commerce success. These KPIs provide goals for teams to strive towards, benchmarks to evaluate progress, and insights that aid employees throughout organizations in making better decisions. To make this video more valuable to you, I will be providing you all with industry benchmark standards for each KPI. You can thank me later. So let's dive right in. Conversion rate. Without a doubt, the conversion rate is the most important e-commerce KPI as it helps you determine how many of the visitors to your website really complete their customer journey by placing an order. A good conversion rate for an e-commerce business is between 1 to 4%, and a good conversion rate for a campaign is between 8 to 10%. It should be noted that a high conversion rate includes plugging revenue leaks and recovering abandoned journeys. Click-through rate. Popularly called CTR, it measures how frequently a user has responded to a call to action on any of your brand's communications. CTR is measured by the number of unique opens versus click rate is calculated by looking at unique recipients in the denominator. According to leading surveys, a good CTR for emails is 5 to 7%, for WhatsApp it's 15 to 20%, and SMS is 10 to 15%. Customer lifetime value, or CLTV, defines a worth of a customer to your business throughout their relationship with your brand. How would you like to maximize this number? You can do so by strengthening relationship and focusing on customer loyalty. And of course, as we say in the e-commerce industry, the baseline for CLTV is at least 3 times greater than your customer acquisition cost. Speaking of customer acquisition cost, this e-commerce KPI tells you how much you're spending to acquire a new customer. You can measure it by analyzing everything from marketing and sales costs to the cost of paying your staff and hosting your site. To have a profitable e-commerce business, the average order value should always be 3 times greater than the cost per acquisition. Simply said, you shouldn't pay more to get a customer than what they spend on your store. Average order value. As the name suggests, your average order value refers to the average value of each purchase made in your store. You can set goals and decide how to encourage customers to spend more on each purchase by monitoring your average order value. The top 25% of online stores have an AOV of over $100. So increase your AOV to increase your e-commerce revenue. Abandoned cart recovery rate. Let's talk about the people who visited your store, added a product to their shopping cart, but didn't buy it for some reason. The cart abandonment rate is used to determine these window shoppers. Did you know that the average shopping cart abandonment rate is about 70%? Let's keep this rate to 15 to 20%. That's as low as possible because a high abandonment rate suggests that something is discouraging shoppers from continuing with the checkout process. Abandoned checkout recovery rate. Checkout abandonment occurs when a shopper that has initiated the checkout does not finish the purchase. Unlike the cart abandonment rate, the checkout abandonment rate accounts for these users who started the checkout process but abandoned it after entering their information. It's time for numbers. Abandoned checkout recovery rate ought to only be between 20 to 25%. If it's more than that, it's a signal for you to decrease the rate of abandoned checkouts. GMV, or gross merchandise value. If you want to determine the overall health of your e-commerce business site, then the gross merchandise value KPI is the one for you. It indicates the total value of merchandise sold over a given period of time. Ultimately, if the overall volume is increasing, you are growing. Email opt-in rate. Email marketing continues to be one of the most important tools for e-commerce, particularly when it comes to remarketing and generating repeat business. This KPI measures the percentage of website visitors that subscribe to marketing communication from your company through any channel, making it an important metric at the top of the sales funnel. The average opt-in rate is 4 to 5%, with some marketers getting as high as 10 to 12%. This means that for every 100 people who visit your site, at least 5 should be signing up to your email. Email deliverability. It is very critical to ensure that any email communication that you are sending to your customer lands at their inbox and not their spam folder. You can always maximize your deliverability to up to almost 96% by just updating your DKIM, SPF, DMARC record for your domain. Pay per click. It shows how much you're spending each time anyone clicks on any of your ads. You can also call it cost per click and use it for search engines as well as for social media advertising campaigns. Benchmark alert, the average CPC for Google Ads across all industries stand at $2.69. The customer retention rate is a measure of how well a company has retained customers over time. To determine whether your present strategy is successfully attracting new customers at a decent rate, the customer retention rate is helpful to know how much of your customer pool is converting to loyalty each time. It's important to note that average CRR for the e-commerce industry is 30%. So try keeping your score 30%. Customer repeat rate. It refers to the proportion of your customers who have made at least 2 purchases during a certain period of time. It helps you find your repeat loyal customers. It's especially important if you want to evaluate how valuable your customers find your store and assess your overall customer experience. Here's a helpful benchmark. If you can get 20 to 30% of your consumers coming back every month and making a purchase from your store, you should do pretty well. Channel-wise sales performance rate. A significant multi-channel sales KPI is the channel-wise sales performance rate. It measures each channel's performance and in turn enables you to determine which channel is most effective to your brand. Whether it be WhatsApp, SMS, or email, each channel should be contributing to anywhere between 8 to 12% of your store's revenue. Channel-wise subscribers rate. What channel do your customers respond to the most? Tackling this question is the channel-wise subscribers rate, as it identifies the preferred channels used by your customers when communicating with your brand. This is cost-effective sales KPI, as customers who respond well to a certain channel receive brand marketing on that channel alone, rather than being blindly targeted across all channels and incurring higher costs on other channels. Revenue churn rate. RCR refers to the pace or rate at which revenue is lost from existing customers as a result of these customers abandoning your brand or canceling their subscriptions. It is a critical indicator of customer satisfaction and hence must be kept between 5 to 7% only. Net Promoter Score. Nothing shows customer satisfaction like a good recommendation, and Net Promoter Scores were designed to help you discover how many customers would tell their friends about your product. Benchmark alert, a score between 8 to 10 is a good range to be in. However, there is room for progress. Bounce rate. A very important KPI is the bounce rate, which tells you the percentage of visitors who leave your website. You don't want people bouncing off your website after viewing only one page. As a rule of thumb, a bounce rate in the range of 26 to 40% is excellent. Make sure your website experience is great with the least friction to have lower bounce rate. Website traffic. Website traffic is one of the most important lead generation KPIs that help to understand who these people are, their demography, and their actions after discovering your website. This information can help you determine what it is that your customers are looking for. An e-commerce store must be able to generate targeted and high-converting traffic so as to ensure that there's an influx of potential buyers. You can segment the website traffic by source, such as organic, search, paid, referral, and social. Return to origin. RTO is an important KPI that must be used by all companies as it answers the question, what percentage of products sold were returned? It's a rate that retailers need to keep as low as possible because it results in a lot of extra expenses, a decline in sales, and a significant drop in customer satisfaction, all of which are unacceptable. Of course, the desired benchmark of an RTO is 0%, but let's stick to keeping it below 10%. Product delivery performance rate. A delivery performance KPI is a metric that shows the effectiveness of your delivery operations or providers. On-time delivery, NDR, time per delivery, order accuracy, and cost of delivery are examples of the indicators used to measure delivery performance as KPIs. Contribution margin. It's important to keep a close track of your month-to-month contribution margins as it shows how much of a product's revenue is available to cover costs and help e-commerce merchants to track product profitability that can be accounted to the firm. There is nothing but money left over from your net revenue after paying all your operational expenses such as promotional costs, cost of goods, manufacturing costs, delivery or shipping costs, and any other direct costs involved. That's all for today. Did you enjoy this video? What other KPI should have made it to this list? We're curious to know what you think. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.